In marriage, sex is believed to be boring. Is it boring to have one sexual partner? Let's talk about sex. Welcome to the Save My Marriage show with the Lee Bwanas. We are here. I'm going to allow these people to introduce themselves because we're going to enjoy this topic very much. First of all, they're looking amazing. They're beautiful. And I'm going to start with the person from my immediate left, my awesome, beautiful wife. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nessie Lee, married to one Mr. Alvin Lee.
Thank you very much.
CEO and founder of Lubai Organics. And I'm passionate about marriage.
Amazing.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm Anton Bwana, King Papa Tosh, as they call me. I'm a pastor, a father, and a creative.
Woo. Well, hi everyone. I am Vivian Bwana, the wife to the Bwana. you know, the wife to the Bwana. Co-founder, Code Group, GRP.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm also a creative and a pastor and a counselor. And a
Amazing.
stylist,
And a friend and a sister.
And a mother and a sister. Oh my God.
That's
All
amazing.
that.
You guys are all looking amazing. Very, very smart.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Is it because the topic is
Oh yeah, the topic is quite delicious.
It
very
is delicious.
delicious?
Yes, it's amazing.
Let's just dive in deep. We are discussing about sex in marriage. And first of all, we are here in Highland Suits in Kilimani along Chania Plaza. It's an amazing, warm, cozy place. And for today's topic, it's actually perfect for couples. It's just perfect. Isn't it right? Yeah. So let's dig right into this topic. What is sex and why? Why should we have sex? Anyone can start for this one. Anyone can start for this
People
one.
are being shy.
Oh my
Fungua
God.
roho.
Sex is when two people come together to express their mahanjams.
Interpret mahanjams.
Me, I think that's what sex is. Where you come together in active worship. If you go spiritual, it's active worship. If you go local, it's kutoa mahanjams. If you go even further, is to bond with your special someone.
Yeah.
Biologically.
It's to create babies. You know, it's interesting. It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing.
Yes, Mr. Anto.
Sex is for procreation.
Yes.
You know, to fulfill the earth.
Yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing, it's enjoyable.
Only for that.
It's important in marriage.
Very important.
Yes.
How important is it in marriage?
Key.
Yes.
Yes, Vivian, what is sex?
Biologically, sex is when a male sexual organ
Yeah.
comes together with a female sexual organ. We are going to talk about how anatomically they fit and are perfectly made for each other. And then when that happens, they releases some endorphins in the body that causes some nice reactions in the body, some nice feelings, you know, things that make you make strange sounds and stuff like that.
It's getting on. We need the fun.
And
Need
it's
the
very
fun.
important, yes, procreation and
Yes.
all those other things, but intimacy.
Intimacy, yes.
Amen.
It's very important for
Yes,
intimacy
very
in
important
marriage.
for intimacy,
That's actually a very, very good point because
Yeah.
in marriage we have heard of stories whereby people do not actually enjoy sex in marriage.
Yeah.
And so once people outside marriage look at that, they'll now just say sex is boring in marriage, you know? Yeah, it's a very sad ordeal, and we have to change that narrative. We have to
Yeah.
show that it's actually not the truth, you know. It's the people who are in that marriage institution that are making sex boring. It's not supposed to be boring. I personally know sex is not boring in marriage. But what do you think makes sex boring in marriage? Why do people say that? You know?
I think there's the whole aspect of vulnerability and like being yourself with that someone you're married to.
Yeah.
Because if you're kidogo shy, you'll just be there like a chapati and then
Chapati.
Like,
You're spoiling the food for me.
Spoil chapati.
you also have to engage. This
Yes.
is for the ladies.
Yes.
Don't just sit there there to now have me. No, like just, you know,
Make it
dance
spicy.
with me as I dance.
Eh,
with you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're just there and then
It's a team of two.
that's when it becomes boring because it's the
Yeah.
same position,
Yeah.
same place,
Yeah.
the same people. Like there's no
Yes.
adventure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
adventure is like sometimes throw me in the kitchen. Sometimes
It's deadly.
man, let's make dinner. Then do the dishes.
It's getting hot, eh? You're having flashbacks, eh? Flashbacks. Yes, Vivian.
I don't know. First of all, I think there's so much shame when we talk about sex.
Yes.
And it has been there for so long. First of all, we always say don't have sex before marriage.
Yes,
and
yes.
So there's already shame towards
Yeah.
sex. And
Okay,
so someone
yes.
is getting married
Yes.
thinking that sex is such a bad thing. We need to change the narrative and start saying, hey, sex is amazing. Sex is beautiful. All you gotta do is just chill and wait for the right time. Not go bad manners, because we've all grown up knowing
We call it
sex
bad
is
manners.
bad manners.
Actually,
And
men
we
knew it as
didn't
bad
know
manners.
why.
for
Like
the
we all
longest
knew it
time.
was bad manners
It's
for the
true.
longest time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so now we're coming into marriage and we are doing bad
Bad
manners
manners.
in marriage. So how are we
And
making
sneaky.
something that is bad manners and sneaky
Yes.
to be good and
yes,
beautiful,
yes.
right?
That's an amazing
And
point.
then on top of that, there's the whole women's power sexually has been taken away for the longest time. We are not allowed to speak about our sexuality without being called sluts and
Yeah,
all those other
yeah,
things.
yeah.
But let me tell you, let's take it back.
Eish.
Women, let's take it back. Don't be sitting there waiting for your man to satisfy you and he has no idea even what's happening.
Yes.
And so for me, if you ask me if sex is enjoyable in marriage, yes, people make it boring because you don't want to discover your partner.
Yes.
You
yes,
gotta wanna discover your
yes.
partner.
Yes. Safe words.
You gotta wanna figure out new things.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
get married and discover your body can do something you didn't know it can do.
Hey!
You know what I
Tell
mean?
me my discovered.
Yeah. Fungwa roho.
I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl.
Yep.
I discovered I'm so flexible.
Oh.
Exactly.
Like my heels were on my head. That's a whole other level of flexibility. You'll discover.
Yeah. Like discover each other, discover yourselves, discover your partner. Be willing to explore, because
That's
then
true.
if you're used to just this and this is what works and
Yeah.
sijui mende, they call it mende kufa mende or
Yeah.
something, whatever. Yeah, like then that's how it's gonna be for you, and it's gonna be sad because you're gonna be desiring things
Yes.
outside
Yeah.
the
Yes,
marriage,
yes,
which
yes.
is not right.
Anto,
I
Anto,
think
listen.
what you've asked is exactly what I want to try and come in.
Yes, yes, yes.
So why does it seem boring? It's because one, this has been a conversation that has been always low key.
Yeah.
From the time we were young and growing up.
Yeah.
So to change that perception is so hard because we don't get time to deal with it.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
find out about it.
Yes, yeah.
And so no one creates an avenue of where guys, let's talk about this. thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no room where you felt like you studied a different way or you knew it a different way, and so always it has been a low key. It has been something that we do in the dark.
Gizani.
And so
Yeah.
you get into marriage with a perception of it's always something that we can't talk about, and so I can't talk about it. With
Yes.
my wife.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll always be doing some things, and it might be strange if both of us have different perception of this.
Of sex.
Maybe she has a different background where the parents told her about sex, and all that. And then nowadays we have the bridal showers and stuff, so people talk about it.
Yes, yes,
But I
yes.
feel like this is not just a one-time conversation for
Yes,
us.
Yes.
This
yeah.
is something that we
Yeah.
need to take it to a different level to make
Yes.
people understand. I used to spend I used to spend this amount of time when I was just with my ex without
Yes.
a relationship and stuff like that, or I would have 2 girls in a day, 3. But right now I can't satisfy my wife.
Yes.
Such conversations need to come up. Why? It's because we are not talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
so we don't understand
That's
even
very,
the
very, very
function
true.
or the place of sex in a marriage.
Yeah.
Nice.
Drop my
Ameanza. Yes, started.
No, what Tosha said, there's something Tosha said.
Yeah.
That's constantly talking about it. I remember at the beginning of the show, when we started, I said that it's very important to have people you can work with.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
the way we are working together.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, we work together in marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can always come together and talk about this sex thing and be like, listen,
Yeah.
Alvin is not doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's really, really important. And then secondly, you talked about it being in the dark and like being shunned in some way. Imagine just bring it to light. Like,
Yeah,
it's your
it has to be.
responsibility as a married person to like lay it on the table and be like, bruh, me I like this style.
Yeah.
Yes.
I prefer it if you did this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
The communication there.
Yes.
Yes, I find it very ironic that people say sex in marriage. Is in marriage is boring, and yet if you look into our cultures, there's actually some sort of sex education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I know in
Yeah.
Uganda, there's the sengas, those are the aunties, the
Yes,
girl goes and
yes.
visits and they teach them how to satisfy a man, even in the coast here.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing that has started dying down
Exactly.
in the current world, right?
Yeah.
It has started dying down, and that may be another reason
Yeah.
as well.
That's true. That's
And you know what's funny is at that time it was open between the ladies, whereby you're getting married, your aunt is telling you about everything. But now when it comes into marriage, there's certain things you should not even speak about to the husband. And then the mindset of the men a long time ago, I'm sure they were being selfish in
Yeah.
yeah, it's all about their satisfaction and just the
Yeah.
object, and it's gone. And that is also another thing that brings in the boredom, you
And I
know.
think that's something
Yeah.
that should be brought up and talked about more. I know
Yes.
if you guys talk about that in your bachelor parties, but it
Bachelor
needs to be your bachelor thing is that meet as guys.
Yeah.
Because men also need to know that it's not just about you thrusting and erupting and it's over. There has to be
It's both.
an exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exchange,
Yeah.
You giving, I give you.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
yes,
dance
yes.
a bit and
Yeah.
then now everyone is happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So men also need to talk about that. Because as you said, back in the day, the mamas used to tell the girls how to satisfy the man.
And the men were
That
not.
is also true.
Yeah.
The men need to be taught how to satisfy the girl.
The ladies
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Because man, as our organs are even more complicated than yours.
Yeah.
You guys just have, as we have like 4 layers before you enter.
The physics, math, and everything.
Man,
You know.
There's so many calls
Yeah.
before getting to the
Exactly. So you need to like the starter,
Yes.
and there's a first course, and the
Yeah.
main course, and then the finishing.
Yeah.
By the
that,
and
all
men
that stuff. And men don't actually talk about that.
yeah, they
Yeah.
don't.
So
Yeah.
I think also just to add some more juice to this conversation,
Yeah.
it almost feels like we talk about preparation of marriage so much,
So much, and you
but
leave
then
at that.
we leave preparation or understanding
That's
of
a very amazing
sex,
point.
which is a fundamental thing.
Yes.
Let's come to
Yes.
this direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so getting to teach people about a process on something, it's also important for us to now know, okay, these are the things that we don't talk about much, that
Yes.
we used to have different understanding or perceptions way kitambo, like right now, say in upper panaendwaje, because that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
We talk to, like, ladies will do it once, some of men will do it once, it goes to Izoma,
Gatherings,
bachelor, whatever, and
Yeah.
it sadly ni that day that you talk about it and then in a die.
Yeah.
But then as you're talking about it, there's another couple right there. There's a dude there. Sex situation within the marriage is just completely off, but he'll just be there and be okay,
Yeah.
So it's not a casual conversation that sometimes you can just bring on top of
Yeah.
the table and talk about things.
Yes, yes.
It's amazing that we work together, and so we get to go deeper on
Yeah,
these things.
yeah.
But it's not everyone that does that.
Everyone,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
It's true.
important to get the right people to work with.
To work
marriage.
with.
Like
Yeah.
you guys' marriage is the marriage to our marriage.
Yeah.
It's so important. People don't get it.
Would you say that couples who are married but have boring sex should go for sex therapy? And what is in sex therapy?
Our counselor knows.
Wow. So I have never done sex therapy before.
Okay.
I've done basic counseling.
Yes.
But one thing that I find interesting is even if you go for counseling, it still boils down to the two of you.
Yes, that's true.
It still boils down to
Yes,
the two of
yes,
you.
yes.
There's a way you want something, then there's a way the other person wants something.
Yes.
And I'm hoping one day we get to talk about communication and how it is very key in everything that we do,
Yes.
including sex.
Sex, yes.
Because I cannot go to bed and put an expectation on my husband to do something. And then when he fails, I get offended because he wasn't even aware of the expectation that I had put on him. Like, he needs to understand. And so sometimes it helps us to be able to understand the language, like what is my husband's language, what is his sexual language, what do I do that I know no matter what, at the end of this day, I'm getting laid.
Yes,
I just
yes.
know there's that one thing I
Yeah,
just need to do.
yeah.
And that one, you cannot go to therapy to get it.
That's true.
You can't.
That's very true.
You
It has
can't.
to come with a person.
You have to come, the two of you. Like, it has to come from the two of
Yeah.
you. And sometimes I think we go for sex therapy maybe to learn the skills and learn like how to positions and all those things. But imagine when you're doing it and you're discovering it with your husband
It's always
and
nice.
your wife. Like, it's so much.
Because I think
so
that's
much
what happens in
fun.
sex therapy.
Yeah.
I think it helps each other open up and all that.
Exactly.
Because the point I had is, you see, before we're married, when you're still single and fornicating, that's when you're the wildest. But there's this, it's true, but then there's this perception that when you're getting into marriage, that's when you calm down. And that's where the boring stuff again happens. What is the difference? Like, if you did that with your boyfriend, this is your husband. You can now go home.
Me, let me tell
You get?
the reason. Okay, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Because you
The reason
don't.
why
Eh,
you go ham then
Yes.
before you get married.
Yes.
Because you're probably meeting this one time of the week or once every month. So you want to chuck all the mahanjams there and then finish.
By the way, it used to be like that.
So you're sorted for the week. You're sorted for the month.
Yeah.
And then now when you get married, there's some familiarity. of
Yes,
that.
familiarity
It's
comes
easier
in.
to do it later.
Yeah.
It's always, I tell you, the minute you feel that urge in marriage, you better deal with it. Don't wait for it. We'll do it at night. Then have to be at night. Then have to be in the dark, with the covers in the bedroom, everything.
Do it, yeah.
The monotony is what makes it boring.
Yeah.
I think. So
Yeah,
if you're a bit more adventurous, it just happens there and then. Like you're in your house.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to do it in the sitting room, on the floor, anywhere. And I feel that permission is what people need. It's okay.
It's
You
okay.
don't have to be in the room.
It's in the room
dark,
and everywhere. Yeah.
Like just. And then I think also the I'd call it like pre-foreplay. Like it's the foreplay before the foreplay. So you play with my mind at the beginning, and then by the time we are starting the foreplay, I'm already hot. By
Yeah.
the time we're getting into it, it's pandaing, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So start talking to people, like, you know, the words that make, like,
Like turns them on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
complimenting each other.
Yes.
Hey,
Oh,
you
yes.
can get it, you know,
Yeah.
those
Oh
kind of-
yes.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
like,
Yeah.
back of your mind,
Yeah.
so it keeps growing.
Men should plant
Yeah.
seeds. Plant seeds, men.
Yes,
Plant
that's
seeds.
preparation
Yeah.
there. So plant the seeds, plant. By the time it's sundown, if that's the time you're doing it, it's
I think
already.
you also brought a point that is a bit, because now a situation where now you have kids and a point of spicing it up, you mentioned, you know, be flexible, be easy, it's your room,
Can't
it's your
relate.
home, it's your house.
Yes.
I think it's also important to talk about that because it
Or
can
the
put us
kids.
to a place where
The
now
kids
are
there,
around.
when the
Some
kids
people
come
think
in.
are around. That's what I'm saying.
but then continue enjoying even after.
Yeah,
But
that's
now I
true.
wouldn't know the flip side.
Yeah.
These guys are the ones who are married.
We will tell you.
We are going to come back after a very short break. We are going to continue this. This is getting hot, okay? We shall be right back. Welcome back to the Save My Marriage show with the Lee Warners. And today's topic is about sex. Very interesting, sex in marriage. And we're just talking about sex having sex in marriage while you have kids. Is that right?
Parental sex.
With kids in the
Parental-
picture.
There's nothing like parental sex. Okay, sex as parents. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Buana, you're saying
Oh,
something.
I was just saying how that is now one of the most somehow challenging things
Yes.
for people because you don't know what to do.
Cannot be freaky enough.
You're not being the one, you're not being, the first 2 weeks after marriage, and and you still don't have a child.
Yes, yes.
But right now things are changing.
Yes.
I think for us, I normally call it when we're at home and things are supposed to happen.
Yes.
I think I normally call it sex after kids or sex after hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
now you get to know the moments or the times, and it depends with the age of the kids at that moment. We already know that you can be creative with sex.
Yes,
when
yes,
want
you
to,
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think these are some of the things that we need to talk about more, because when you talk of spicing it up, it doesn't mean necessarily that it has to be maybe kitchen only,
have
and
a
going all
area.
out.
You can go
You
get
know,
an
so-
Airbnb.
Yeah.
So these are moments where you begin seeing how you set up some having dinners or having some
Some nights
Leave the
out.
kids with the parents.
leave the kids, come to such a place as
Yes.
Highland Suites. Book a room,
Book a
just,
room.
but then there's still that feeling or having it at home.
At
you
home,
know,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
at home. But
Yeah.
then it's just a matter of being cautious
Creative
of the
about
kids.
it, yes.
Are they asleep?
Yeah.
Because of course it's not the whole day that you prepare yourself. It's something psychological. You prepare
Come
yourself.
at daytime if you're not
Exactly.
employed. Daytime.
Exactly.
Daytime,
Around.
yeah.
So I think for me it's just the understanding of what sex is,
Yes.
as we have discussed in
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
session, and then now knowing how to bring it in at any point. Because at some point you can have visitors at the house.
Yeah, yeah.
And you won't be shaking things in the
Yes,
house,
of course.
and walls shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
Just
it's a,
hearing sounds. Just came for tea.
So yeah.
Yeah.
it's true.
I think also we need to know that sex is not an emergency.
Yeah.
It is definitely not an emergency. So it's not for death. You can hold on for a little bit longer, And then also, if you have a chance, you can just have a quickie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is why it is important to have, guys, teach your kids privacy as early as possible.
As possible,
early
very
as
important,
possible.
yeah.
Let them know they need to knock on doors before
Yes.
they walk into a room.
Yes,
Let
yes.
them know all these things.
Yeah.
So for me, our son is 4 years. He's turning 5 this year,
Yeah.
and so now he understands that he can't just walk into my room. He has to always knock.
Yeah.
So he has to knock, and he has to wait for someone to say,
For response.
come in, or
Yeah.
don't come in, or wait. And so now he understands such things. However, there's still the security of using a key.
Yeah.
Please lock your doors.
It's true. And
Lock
also
your
for,
doors.
for the babies, for the, let me say, 1 year old, 2 years old, sometimes you think these people don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
you may be shocked when they're 18. They're like, oh, by the way, when I was 1 year old.
I remember.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I would like to take us deeper in the danger of having boring sex and why sex is actually very, very important, generally and most importantly in marriage. When you have boring sex, the partners find themselves now comparing the sex in marriage with one night stand that they had that was wild, having flashbacks and all that, and
Yeah.
then that boring sex turns into
Yeah.
divorce.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
cheating or something of a sort.
Yeah.
And that makes us actually say, wait, actually sex is very important, and we need to come down and say, okay, how do you want to be loved sexually? And then this is how I want to be loved sexually. And we actually try on each other and all that stuff. We have to be selfless
Yeah.
while having sex with our partners. Right?
Wow.
You can't afford
Wow.
to be selfish, because you're giving your body, she's giving your body.
Yeah.
As much as you're
Yeah.
one, act like it actually.
Yeah. I agree.
But just as you said, it all boils down to the communication between
Yes,
you. Because
yes.
I can't know what you want sexually. And then let's not forget that there is history of sex. Like
Yes.
unless you're marrying a total virgin who does not even know what a nini is, like this is a conversation you need to have so that I understand why when I touch you like this, you behave like this.
Like this, yeah. There are
Has to be
traumas.
some-
There are also past
discuss
traumas.
the traumas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Discuss your sexual history.
Yeah.
Discuss what changed and what you improved on during
Yeah.
this whole time.
Yes, Anto, please say. Me, I'll write my point down. Usijali.
Yeah, I think you brought up a very interesting side of how we view it. And I think for me, again, it still boils down to our understanding of sex.
Why we do it.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And then now in marriage, of course, being aware of your area, your surrounding, if you have kids, for those who still don't have kids,
Yeah.
knowing how to spice it up. Is it something that we don't talk about it? That's why it's not happening well. And so again, talking about dangers, they can be very extreme.
Yes.
Because you'll imagine that if we can't satisfy each other, and there's actually this point where we say, getting out or testing it outside is always different.
Yes.
And so there's always that notion of let me go outside. And the moment that starts happening is already an open door to something. It's completely leading to now things like divorce and
That's so true.
I would love to ask, since we're talking about boring sex in marriage, one of the things that people believe to spice up sex is actually oral sex. I would love to ask, is oral sex okay? And then actually in general, is oral sex okay? And then should it be put in marriage? There are some people who do not believe in it. Some people believe in it. Others will say, oh, it's not in the Bible. But at the same time, there's no way they've said it's not. So, yes.
Really, it's you.
Honestly speaking, I have absolutely zero issue with oral sex.
Okay.
The thing is, sometimes your partner may be interested, and these are conversations that, again, we don't do often.
Yes.
Your partner could be wanting to have sex.
Yes.
And you are just having a bad day.
Yes.
So two things could happen. He could force his way, or she could force his way, which would lead to other things and other conversations that we just don't want.
Yes,
or
yes,
you
yes.
could figure out how I can satisfy him without necessarily having to be, having to have sex and go out of my way.
Yes.
Why not just
it's
give
a
him
different way?
There's a
And that
different way,
spices it up.
and that spices it up.
Yeah.
And me seeing him happy makes me happy.
Yes, it's actually
And
true.
we kill two birds with one stone.
And
so
eventually you might even get turned on. And
exactly in the process, I'm just like, well, I've changed my mind now, so let's
Yes.
take it another
Because
direction.
it will be embarrassing that your husband is cheating on you, maybe because you don't do oral.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
yeah.
the woman doing the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Also, when you said about boring sex and what it leads to,
Yes.
there is the notion of, as again I said, history.
Yes.
Like you start comparing with your ex. Oh, my ex knew how to do this without me
Yes.
asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
there's this whole, she was more freaky, he was more
Mm.
mature and all that stuff. But that was, man, they were writing their CV. They were
Yes,
trying
yes.
to-
Of course.
you know,
They're writing the CV.
Writing CV.
It's
true.
All
Yeah.
the theatrics in the bedroom.
Yes.
But then there's also the other side of now you're married. Yes, you're having sex. It's just not what you want. You've not communicated. But then you meet someone else who is playing with your head a bit.
Yeah.
They're telling you things, what they can do to you. And you start picturing it and you're just marinating. Before you know it, you've given them the opportunity to
do it.
where
Yes.
is the opportunity? Do it.
Yeah.
So it comes to communication of, this is that topic of communication, because you see, if it's about sex and both of you would want sex differently, so the communication of a person may be proud and say, babe, do this for me, may be proud to do it, but then you can have a different way of telling him by you starting it, then raise an inspiration for them to do that. And actually, it will bring me to another point here. What's the difference between making love and actually just fucking hard? Like, and I know that there are places in marriage whereby both are actually needed. There are sometimes when there's making love, and then there's sometimes when the lady is grabbing you and like, okay, Noma, my friend. Do you find yourselves in such a situation? What do you think, Mr. Bono?
I think it's a good thing.
Hey.
Why? It's a good thing to be wild.
Yes.
And sometimes I say it's the place of masculinity that
Yes.
sometimes we have that can lead to such situations.
Yes.
Because there are things that we do and you realize that you can't maintain it. And so when you talk about sex, you're not trying to hit a one-time thing and
Yes, and go.
complete it. And so we're trying to develop certain ways, certain traits that we can actually walk around and we can actually walk with for some time, There are seasons that people are wild, There are times that people can be wild, and it's okay. But then again, when we talk of spicing it up and now what you're asking for, there is always a process, and we've talked about the foreplay and all that.
Yes.
Pre-preparation before sex.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so all these things are involved in one or another. But then there are moments that we had gone to a dinner and she was dressing, and we leave the place and we don't even think about the foreplay
Yes.
and all this, and we right into it.
Right,
And all of
immediately.
us are communicating.
Yes,
Yeah.
And so
yes,
there's
yes,
some
yes,
non-verbal communications
Yes.
that
Yeah.
begin to happen, and so it makes it so easy for us to actually know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens in the scenario? Like she's already said, she's in the mood, you are not in the mood. For some ladies who would just, let me just give it to him, it may, or even the same for the man, it may lead to a performance, which leads to faking it. Please address that, babe.
So, if you have to fake it, are you even with the right person?
Yeah.
Just be real about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've not figured, you've not figured.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs a 30-minute break and then get back to work. Or you should have taken foreplay a bit longer, I don't know.
Yeah.
But find out why you didn't figure. And then why fake it?
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay to once in a while. You don't have to always reach there.
Yeah.
Fake on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just today it was his turn.
Yeah.
Tomorrow might be your turn. Let's be nice to each other.
Yes,
Sexual.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's
But
understanding
like,
that
I'm not
person's
for the
needs.
faking thing.
Yes,
Because
yes.
Yeah.
now I don't trust you.
Yes.
Because the day it will actually happen and you'll be like throwing everything all over with your orgasm, then
Akona kifafa. What's happening? What's happening?
then
Yeah.
you'll be like, honey, all this time what have I been doing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah.
want that. trust
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
That issue.
Yeah.
That's actually very, very
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
about it. So that's very interesting what you said. And I want us to know, talk about the difference, sex before marriage and sex in marriage, before I actually get to the concluding question that I have. Okay. So what was the difference? Like for me, I'll just start by myself is, number one, guilt.
Oh yeah.
That was the first thing.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, when I was having sex in marriage, I was like, I was waiting for,
Guilt. Looking out for the guilt.
where's the condemnation?
Yeah,
Sioni,
yeah.
You know, and you actually feel good. Then after that to come out and like, I'm doing it legally. My friend. Yes, babe, what is the
That time
experience
God
there?
is smiling. He's so happy. He's like, you're my
Good
man.
man.
You did it. You did it. So sex before, yes, there's the guilt,
Yes, yes.
and then there's the overcompensation.
Yes.
And outperforming yourself.
Yes,
Because
that's
Yeah.
I will
You're trying
not have
to-
this again, and
Yeah.
you need to save it for the next.
you need
Yeah.
to do it for the week.
Yeah.
So you go and
CV.
run everything.
Yeah.
You just go overboard.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then in marriage it's a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's more.
It's with the flow.
satisfying. Yeah, it goes with the flow.
Yeah.
It's more
Yes.
fulfilling. You feel
That's interesting.
like after that you can even take a nap.
Yes.
You don't have to start packing your bags to run
Yes, yes.
away.
By the way,
I
Nessie,
think that's also.
yes, Bonanto. How different is
I
it?
think, as she's saying, it's so awesome because there's always that excitement and a crazy drive or crazy rush that you want to do something, perform it so well
Yes,
for
yes.
that first time.
Yeah.
You know, because you never know. Maybe tomorrow the lady will be having
Yes.
someone else. So you need to really do it right. You know, take the meat, prepare it well. You know,
Yes.
pause and do everything
Salt
that you
made
can.
things.
And then
It's work.
it's a bit different
Yeah.
because now we are not rushing in mind.
Yeah.
And so it even makes
Enjoying
more sense
it.
because you want to enjoy it, you want to understand it more.
Yeah.
You're building something with
Yes.
this person. There's more to it than
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a rush to actually get an orgasm and you know.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes, Madam.
Well,
Make it short.
truth is there's a difference. There's so much comfort, there's so much intimacy, there's so much, again, for me discovery is still big. Like there's so much I get to learn and there's so much I have the time. I don't have to feel
Yes,
bad about
yes,
it. I don't have to feel bad about asking, hey,
Yes.
this organ, I've never really studied it. And so
Yes.
I'll take the time and just be like, wow,
Yes.
the marvel that is this
Yes.
organ. You know, that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, you heard it, guys. Man. I have one more question, but that will be after the break. welcome to the Save My Marriage show with the Lee Bwanas, and we're talking about sex. I had one question for them, but before I go in there, I just want to give you guys a small background. Sex in marriage and why I would say is better is because I remember for myself personally, sex outside marriage used to leave me empty. Yes, I may have that fulfillment of, a bit of stress has gone off. I feel, hey, I actually needed that, to blow off that steam. But I've left a part of me in someone. And I find that in marriage, you have not left a part of you in someone. You have left a platform to build on. Okay? Yes, and that's why sex in marriage helps settle some issues. It's a platform to build, to solve an issue and to build, make solutions on something. So the question is, okay, why do you think sex is actually better in marriage?
First of all, let's not just rush into that. Let's start with the fact that you actually release. Sometimes there's no problem in your marriage.
Yes.
There's no problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sexually
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
You get some good nini and you're good to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thing is, sex in marriage actually shows you what part of your marriage needs work.
Oh,
So
nice.
you'll be like, you'll have sex, you're like,
That's
that's actually
interesting.
all I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's true.
nothing wrong with the dishes.
Yeah.
There's
wrong
nothing
with
wrong.
you not calling me earlier.
Yeah.
I was just
You're just
sexually
frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That's true. Everything's sorted.
So sex in marriage is better because of that. One.
Yes,
You get to
yes.
solve issues. Whatever is stressing you, you can
Is
go
solved,
and
yes.
release it there and then.
Yes.
And you don't have to rush.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Secondly,
You don't have to pack your bags.
Secondly, you get that peace of mind.
Yes.
Of no judgment, no
Yes,
condemnation,
yes.
and right standing with God. You
Yes.
just feel like,
Mm.
like I'm doing everything right.
Yes, even your parents
you
are
feel
happy.
Like your parents are happy, your ancestors are happy.
Yes.
Man, everyone knows
Yes.
you're in marriage, you're supposed to be doing it.
But there's that adjustment. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do our parents feel?
It feels like fresh air, like you've paid
Oh
your
my
taxes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah, the government is happy with you.
Just here say that our parents are gonna watch this show.
It's okay.
I
Seattle.
sip my juice. Hi, mom.
I think one of the things that I would mention as to the question
Yes.
asked is the place of accommodation. Manze, we are not competing. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's here.
Yes. She's there. She's not going anywhere. This is Sabuni.
And so just the place of accommodation, know your partner. And as you're communicating, as you're building, as you're noticing, okay, when you touch this place, I don't feel okay, maybe you should straight to this part. You know, having those conversations, you're already beginning to accommodate each other.
Yes.
So you know, okay, we are working on something. My wife is working on this, I'm working on this. So just accommodate, create that room to allow that. Because again, you would not be disappointed if something that you're expecting didn't happen.
That's true.
You know, and so accommodation part is that, you know, maybe you're too fast and, you know, like just allow yourselves to get into that place where you're actually giving room to your partner.
Yes.
And improving as you go.
Yeah, I agree. And also, there's as you accommodate each other, there's room to grow in marriage.
Yes.
As opposed to these one-time situations where and then you move with that one-time expectation to the other one-time person next, and then you're expecting that person to do that, and you're just collecting and collecting and collecting. Instead, in marriage, you get to grow together. You get to improve your quality together. For sure, I can 100% say the sex you had in honeymoon is probably not the best currently that you have had in your marriage.
True. Actually, the
Yeah.
deeper you get in marriage,
Yeah,
The
the deeper it becomes, because
It's
you discover things. You're just like, Allah. And so for me, sex in marriage gives me the room to grow and be more intimate. And there is, let me tell you, when two become one is a real thing.
Yes.
Sex is not just transference of sperms and fluids and juices. There's more transference of things inside there, like my
That's
friends.
also when you start looking like your husband.
Yeah, exactly. Mnaanza kufanana. They start behaving in the same way. It comes from these things. Transference of spirits. Si mchezo. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true about sex in marriage, and I also say when you're having sex in marriage, you tend to mature. There's a new level of maturity that comes up. And actually, even let me first leave that point for maturity. Let me just go to this point here. Outside marriage, when people are having sex, there's a lot of insecurities that they have. And they bring those insecurities in marriage.
Yeah.
People fear being left. People fear being alone.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's why there's some people are boring, some people are holding back. They don't want to be judged. Oh, you're a slut. I'm like, hey, the way you're having sex with me, this must be the way you used to have sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah.
You know? So that fear of judgment and the insecurities and all that stuff. But I want to say that in marriage, you should let bygones be bygones, and you're now building something new.
New.
Exactly.
That's it.
right?
That's
and
it.
anyway, sex was actually meant for marriage.
Yeah.
So you cannot say that since you had sex outside marriage, you're going to bring whatever your experience was in marriage. No,
It's
you're now
baggage.
building sex in marriage.
After having sex outside, you need a full
You need,
detox.
yes, and actually, Nessie and I actually practiced celibacy, which was hard after you have actually had sex before.
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes hard. Yeah.
Yes.
Just to tie to your point of insecurities, there's a level of vulnerability
Yes.
that marriage actually
Opens up, yeah.
Because, I mean, back in the day, it can be just, me and just this guy we are meeting and then I go home and it's over.
Yeah.
But then there's someone I still have to eat with,
Yes.
sleep with.
Yes.
You know, we have to share everything, we are sharing together.
Someone will make you angry.
Yes,
Piss me
yes.
off.
By the way, and it's the same person
And
who's
it's the
going to
same
make
person I have to be vulnerable with. And I'll be in some awkward positions
Yes,
where
yes.
he can choke me to death.
Yes.
You see, so there's a level of vulnerability that and trust, like
Yes.
total
Trust.
Like, and
That's
trust
very
is my
important.
Most sacred place.
Yes. Actually, that's very true about trust, because with that trust, the person will start knowing you more and how you want to be pleased. And that's why that point of the longer you're in the marriage, the better the sex gets. That's if both of you are opening up and communicating and open. I've seen very many older couples still acting like they just got married yesterday. And I admire that. You know, I admire that, because me, these boring things of, hapo na mzee, and mzee is also there. I do not love that thing, because I'm sure that's where the issue is.
Let me tell you, there's a time we were traveling to the village.
Yes.
We were, in one of the long distance traveling buses.
Yes.
And when we were in the bus, there was this couple, a very old couple, by the way,
Yes.
that was seated like 2 seats in front of us
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yes.
Let me tell you, those guys, I looked at them and I was telling my husband, this is us.
Yes.
This is us, because
Yes.
they were holding each other.
Yes.
They were, the lady was lying on
lying on
him.
the head.
The guy was
It's
being
so sweet.
held.
Yeah.
And I was looking at them and they're like, you people are probably in your 50s,
Yes.
going to your 60s. You probably have come from looking at your
Very
grandchildren.
true.
You've gone seeing your grandchildren, now you're traveling back home.
Very
and they're just
true.
having a wonderful
Very
time in the
true.
bus. And I'm like, that's how I want it to be. That's how we have to be. Impact it in us.
That is so sweet.
I know.
And actually, those two small things like lying on each other.
Yeah.
And the
those
things
are
that
the
matters.
three, four
Yes.
things.
Perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
You have to like hold each other's hands.
Yeah.
Even PDA. You might not be a PDA person, not
Yeah.
just you to make out with the person there.
Yes.
But just,
Yeah.
you know.
PDA, please tell them what PDA is.
Accom-
Some people don't know what PDA is, actually.
Public display of affection.
Of affection, to what level should that be?
Yeah, or
And
should
also-
also be respectful.
Yes.
Don't come.
Yeah.
You know, our parents are different.
Our parents, actually, the most I saw with my parents is just my dad lying on my mom's lap.
That's our
And that thing was actually sweet to look on. I've never seen my
Our
grandparents.
parents are very romantic.
Yeah.
They still hold hands.
Yes,
they still
yes.
Massage each other's feet. And
Take
seeing
walks
that is
together.
So nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
it gives you hope
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
If they are that old and they're doing it,
Yeah.
you have to
Yes,
do it, you have
it's
to-
it's yeah. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So
Mm.
there's that pre-foreplay we're talking about. That's not just talking nasty or anything. It's
Yeah.
just a touch. When you pita me, don't pita me without spanking me.
Mm.
No.
By the way,
Unwritten rules. You have to
yeah, spunk as we pass.
make me feel like, you know,
Like you recognize.
recognize what
I
you
recognize you.
Recognize.
You know?
Recognize.
And I would say that when that communication about each other sexually is in the house, we actually can talk about couples when you're walking outside and not feel insecure with each other. I've found that with Nessie before. Like, because we talk openly, like she's into men like that look like me. And I'm into ladies that look like her. And so I'll be like, oh man, that lady has a nice body. And we both agree. But then I'll say, by the way, but yours is actually better like this, like this. And that night,
Something's happening.
you know, it's because of how open you've become, you know. And that's what I love about sex in marriage, because now us communicating that way is like a friendship kind of thing. So we're still having sex with our friends. That's friends with benefits in the house. At the same time, you're the mother of my children. So, and at the same time, you're having it for pleasure, you know. So that's what sex in marriage.
Now wait, now
brings.
that you talk about that communication.
Yes.
Like, do you guys, like when you see someone who you know would be Tosh's type and vice versa?
Yes.
Do you start, because Alvin will see someone, he's like, there is your boyfriend. Like,
Oh yeah, I joke around. Yes.
Yeah, and I think there's one thing that we need to make clear.
Yes.
Just because you're married doesn't mean you don't see.
You don't.
someone
Thank you. That is the point. We are human beings.
You
Yes.
see someone out there and go like, nice. But then that's where it ends. I don't
Yes.
go now start having a conversation. Boss, you are
Actually,
my type.
yes.
Go and finish.
Actually, the fact that you acknowledge that, hey, that person too, you have thrown it out. The moment you keep it in your head.
Now
Yeah.
starts marinating.
Yes.
Once you say it, it will begin blocking you from doing
Yes.
any kind of sin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just say you need to laugh.
Yeah.
You need to laugh. Yes.
Yeah.
And loving is appreciation.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like for example, there are times I walk somewhere and a guy will look at me and say, "Hi, how are you?" And I'll respond confidently. And
Yes.
say, "I'm good. How are
I'm
you?"
good, yeah.
And then after that, I'll go to my husband and say, "Babe, I still got it.
It's true. Look at you.
Babe is down the line and I
That is
still
your
got it." Because it's just like come on, like it's something. It is not a bad thing. However, it's a whole different conversation when you take that and act upon it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So stop living and pretending like you're not seeing other people.
Yes. You are seeing them.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge.
it. Yeah, there are people who are more attractive than my
The-
husband. There are people who are more beautiful than
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
It's fact. So
The-
let's not pretend like.
The thing is that people are affected by past traumas. Okay, like when my boyfriend at the time appreciated that lady, the next thing I had tweaks. That is who he cheated on me with. But now this is marriage. You're supposed to come into it with a different attitude.
Yeah.
You're building
Yeah.
from here. It's all about growth,
Yeah.
being vulnerable, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's friendship, and it's having sex whenever you want it. And there is, today I'm not so much in, but I'm going to sacrifice for my partner and give her the best. And before you know it, it has been 4 hours. You see, so
We do that alone.
yeah,
You have to accommodate.
you have to accommodate each other
Yeah.
in marriage.
Yeah.
It's very, very key.
I think one other thing I wanted to say is just the place of relationship should not end.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anto, what's wrong with you?
If there's no relationship, sex will be just an act.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
So that's again saying as
Yes.
well, understanding
Yes.
why.
Yes.
What
Yes.
Yeah.
Like now in marriage, we should learn to understand. Begin knowing what are the reasons why.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful thing. We have it now all through.
Yes.
How best do we use it? How best do we operate?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
And getting that
That's
will begin helping us not to just have it as a situation.
Yes.
We need to solve something. Let's do this, and then
That
we'll lose.
brings me to that season where now like couples that are trying to have kids, where now it's just becoming four.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my
Purpose
God.
for kids.
We need a whole
Just-
episode for that.
That's a different
we need
episode.
a whole episode. for
That's
that,
a
for sure.
different episode.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Yeah. Sex amazing in marriage. You all agree?
Yep.
You
yep.
agree? You agree? And I would love you guys as the viewers to appreciate sex in marriage. Do not let your past traumas come and cloud your judgment and all that stuff. So I want these people here to leave us with something we can take home. Okay? Let them speak to your soul and you say, yeah, I've had that one. Yes, baby.
Okay.
So,
Starting with me.
yeah.
When you get married, please have a mini therapy session where we exchange our past stories, our
Yes.
past traumas,
Yes.
and so that we can deal with them. So that going forward, I know that this affects you like that, and what we need to improve on. So if you're getting married, when you're newly married, even when you're married now, this can be a point of topic. Just
Yes.
pick it up and be like, yo, when I was this age, I was molested, so that's why this doesn't happen, because it makes me feel like this. Please, please, please have that conversation. It will save you
A lot. That's
to
true.
communicate.
Lovely. Yes.
You said a bit of what I wanted to say.
Yes.
It's amazing. So
Yes.
sex is a God idea.
Yes.
It's a God idea. So let's
Yes.
flush out the lies of darkness and stuff. In marriage, it's a God idea. And so when you're doing something right
love
at the right
that.
time, that's amazing. And
I
then
love that.
sex can
Yes.
be should be improved.
Uh-huh.
God, she said, discover one another.
Yes. That's true. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to keep this conversation going. Hashtag Save My Marriage. Or you can leave us DMs in at Lookup TV. And keep it locked as we cheers to marriage.
Yeah, to
Bye-bye.
marriage, bye.
Bye, guys.
And sex.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah.